and the doctor actually slid off the road.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of the Jeff Heilman Project. We're continuing today with the remaining 10 out of 20 inventions that are turning 50 this year in celebration of Mr. Jeff Heilman himself, who is also
I'm an invention about to turn 50.
turning 50 this year, according to this Mental Floss article that I ran across. So as in the last episode, I'm going to read off a description of a product or invention. Jeff is going to try to attempt to guess, and hopefully let me finish reading through the description and then guess, so that you too at home can have an opportunity to try and guess what the product or invention was. And I'll just recap by reading the introduction, and it goes, the 1970s were an irrefutably iconic era in history. The decade gave us bell-bottoms, the disco revolution, and plenty of products that left their mark. Several items like the Rubik's Cube and Dungeons and Dragons celebrate their 50th anniversary in 2024. From their humble beginnings in garages and labs, these objects from 1974 have grown to become integral parts of our everyday lives. And you, my honey, are an integral part in our
of your everyday life.
So
thanks for making the Jeff Heilman Project part of your everyday life.
Amen.
Every week at least.
Every week at least. Well, there's like 80 episodes, so we're we're close. So anyway, before we get started though, it's Tuesday, and every Tuesday I ask you, how was your week? And every Tuesday we go through my week's just starting. But how's the start? How do you project this following week to go?
The week was good.
Good.
We went to Sacramento for a funeral for a friend's parent. So shout out to that friend. You know who you are. We love you guys. And so that gave us a chance to get out of the house a little bit and get to Sacramento. And then I've got an event coming up next month that I'll be doing in Sacramento again. So we'll be able to get out of the house again for a couple of days and go stay in a hotel, which is fun. Where business is booming right now. I mean, I don't even know.
Well, regardless of how you sit after these elections, it does.
Oh, that's right. There was an election last week.
Seem that the economics are moving. It seems pretty sudden that the economy is picking back up again.
Like as soon as the election goes, Hamas is like, we're done. We want a ceasefire. As soon as
interest rates drop,
interest rates start dropping, stock market starts going crazy.
Okay,
part of that is the fact the election is over, so there's a lot less uncertainty. Certainly that's the case, but I mean, when you have basically a landslide victory like that, you can see that the economy is still important to a lot of Americans, and the policies. I mean, the guys that he's picking, Elon Musk for cost savings. I mean, hopefully we'll just go get rid of billions of dollars of government programs that can be saved from his work. And interesting to see him in like a government advisory role, right? For sure. But nobody does it better than he does. If you look at the election, I mean, for the next 4 years, I just want to run as hard as I possibly can and print money and build as many businesses, get as many assets.
And we're here to encourage you to print money too.
Yeah, we want everybody to print money. I mean, if you're a Democrat and your 401k triples in the next 5 years, that won't bother me at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Well, number 11 began an entire industry that oftentimes is considered a printer of money. The first documented instance of this procedure occurred back in 1921, though that method was quite painful and had horrifying results. In 1974, a father-son duo deployed an improved version of the procedure that remains the basis of this technique. Our Pad and Giorgio Fisher used a crisscross suctioning method that yielded far better outcomes than earlier attempts. And although they only applied the technique to the outer thigh, it remains the basis of this now common aesthetic procedure. What procedure was invented in 1974 or improved upon by Arpad and Giorgio Fisher?
Liposuction?
Liposuction.
Is that what it is?
Modern day liposuction.
Wow. Okay.
Even though it began in body sculpting back in 1921, had quite painful, horrifying results. And by 74, they invited a procedure that used a crisscross suctioning method with far better results.
Wow. Amazing.
Isn't that pretty cool?
I've never had liposuction before, but so I'm told.
It does good. So, number 12, this has served many a person suffering from nasty head cold since it hit shelves in 1974. Was originally known as a daily care medicine as it includes non-drowsy ingredients suited for daytime relief from the cold or flu. The cat food brand Meow Mix hit the marker in 1974, the same year the brand aired its first commercial featuring its now signature jingle song singer by Linda November. I don't know why that's included. That must be number 13. So there you go. There's a freebie. Meow Mix.
Meow Mix.
From his number 13.
Not what I was going to guess.
Hit the mark in 74. But what was number 12? Many persons suffering from the nasty head cold.
What's Sudafed or...
Dayquil was actually created in 1974.
Dayquil's got Sudafed in it. Yeah.
So there you go. So Dayquil, everybody who's counting, was number 12.
Okay.
And then the cat food brand Meow Mix. Meow, 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 or something like that. I remember the little
Mix.
The little ball bouncing.
That might be
I don't know.
Cat food.
Meow Mix, number 13.
Okay,
number 14. This egg-shaped chocolate candy with a hollow center.
I know what it is.
Meant to store a small gift or prize. The egg, which debuted in 1974, is only one of a vast array of these products. Though this is theoretically an excellent idea, it has a rocky relationship with the U.S. government. In 1974, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission banned it in the United States, deeming it a choking hazard, but the treat remains well loved in European nations like the UK.
Oh, it's not the Cadbury egg.
Nope.
It's a chocolate egg.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you know what this is.
I always love the ones where I don't know what they are. Never heard of them.
It's the Kinder Surprise egg. Maybe you've seen it. We do have them now in the United States, but it's got it's got a plastic shell and it has a little toy inside. It's a hollow egg and you open it and there's like a little...
Oh, it's a plastic egg.
No, it's a chocolate egg. It's a chocolate egg that you crack open inside. And there's a little toy inside, like a little person on a skateboard or a little skateboard. And that's why the U.S.
Okay.
Well, we've never had them until recently because they're a choking hazard because there's a little toy inside.
There's a choking hazard?
But hey, in Europe...
Don't eat the toy, kids. Exactly. It's a choking hazard.
But evidently, in Europe... everything goes.
Yeah, apparently people don't choke in Europe.
Yeah, but no, they're now. Sakes. I noticed they're on the aisle as you exit to like every Target.
Kinder Surprise.
It's a Kinder Surprise,
well,
and it was.
We could have been here.
It debuted in
all
1974.
Day and all night, and I would not have guessed the Kinder Surprise plastic.
Cadbury egg is close,
Cadbury
but no, it's called the Kinder.
There's a surprise inside the Cadbury egg too, but it's not a choking hazard.
Okay, so that was number 14. So
isn't this entertaining?
It is. So I find it pretty cool.
I think so too.
Number 15. Photography became a lot more accessible in the 1970s.
I know what it is.
In 1974,
I just heard about this.
This company developed this model 35 millimeter camera. The compact camera's main draw was its lightweight design, which manufacturers achieved by building the camera from a reinforced plastic. The camera served as an inspiration for future SLR cameras. Which camera came out in 1974 and what company?
Oh, it's not the Polaroid.
Nope.
Because it's 35 millimeter. The point and shoot camera by Canon.
Canon is the company. The model is the Datematic. The Canon Datematic 35 millimeter camera.
Yeah, they call it the point and shoot.
Lightweight design and is served as the inspiration for future SLR cameras. What is a SLR? I know DSLR.
Single lens reflex, which has to do with the sensor and an adjustable and replaceable.
So you can take the lens off and put the lens on for different distances.
Yep.
Cool.
But you have a single sensor in the back, or in the case of a 35 millimeter film, you've got the film exposed basically to the open air, and then you
Because I remember the 110 cameras. Those were the
Yeah,
like the
110 somethings.
and then you'd slide the.
Yeah, you can still buy those.
Yeah.
At Target.
Yeah, with the digital camera, like a digital
SLR,
camera.
single image reflex.
Not digital. The disposable cameras. That's what they ended up. We started calling them the ones that are in the box. They don't.
Yeah, they are disposable cameras. You basically get them. You buy them, and then you drop the camera off, and they pull the film out of it, and then they throw the camera away.
Kudos to Kodak or whoever was that invented that idea. Wow.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Okay, so this tabletop number 16. This tabletop RPG game has been embedded in pop culture since 1974. Though the game is well known as a benchmark in fantasy media, it didn't begin with that intention. It was initially meant to be a medieval combat game with short included guide detailing how it could also be used in fantasy setting. This small element became its primary appeal, and the game's first run sold out within a year of its release.
It's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's not Crossbows and Catapults. Read the description again, please.
This tabletop RPG game has been embedded in pop culture since 1974, though the game is well known as a benchmark in fantasy media. It didn't begin with that intention. It's Dungeons and Dragons. I was just gonna let you go with it. See if you can talk your way out of it. Role playing game.
Yeah.
So, yes, Dungeons and. Did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
Yeah,
my brother played that. I wasn't into anything.
Dungeons and Dragons was like a precursor to World of Warcraft, right? Or
Dungeons and Dragons is a role play game where you use your imaginator in your brain.
Was it like cards? Like
you have characters, and I think they have points, so that if you roll a 7, that determines what weapon they're using, and then you roll a 3, and it gives you.
Andrew's going to share.
You have different lists of player character attributes and the chances of. Like how strong you are, and you have different stat points that help determine your odds in rolling a dice to progress through a maze or a dungeon.
Is there a board? Like, are you trying to make your way around a board?
There's an imaginary board. It's mainly in paper and writing, and there's what's called a dungeon master, and they narrate the game off of a book that they have, and if you can get through certain sections, then the narrator will continue reading through the book. You can make little figurines and stuff, but it's mostly on pen and paper.
Oh. I played Connect 4. If it involved reading, I usually didn't play.
And then, not to be outdone, after about 8 years of playing Yahtzee, there was a new game that came out, Super Yahtzee.
Super Yahtzee? Was that more dice?
Best of 5.
Oh, okay. I didn't play Super Yahtzee.
Dude, the marketing behind that game.
We played Uno.
We all bought it, too. We're like, hey, Yahtzee's great, but Super Yahtzee's better. We already have Yahtzee. We're just going to... You could have just used more sheets and played best games of 5, but yeah, Super Yahtzee.
We played a lot of Uno. Uno was kind of our world.
Uno.
Okay. Number 17. A brand owned by Procter & Gamble, was released to the UK market in 1974 as their first low-sud biological laundry detergent. It has remained a popular product ever since. Do you know what brand or which laundry detergent owned by Procter & Gamble was first released in the UK in 74 as a low-sud biological laundry detergent?
Not LOC, I know that.
I don't know that you'll probably recognize the brand once I say
All Tide.
Bold, Bold, Bold laundry detergent.
Okay.
Owned by Procter & Gamble, was first released in the UK
P&G.
as the low-sud biological laundry detergent.
Biological laundry. Okay, good. All right, good for that.
Okay, so I don't know what this next one is, and so I'm going to kind of read it and try to be vague and see if you can pick up on the cues, because I don't know what it is. I don't even know how to say it.
You don't know the answer for 200, Alex.
This was transmitted via a device known as by the same name. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't a genuine attempt to contact aliens. Instead, it served as a testament to how far space technology had come. Any ideas what I could be talking about regarding space technology in 1974? It's called the
dish?
Arecibo message. A-R-E-C-I-B-O.
What the? Oh.
The A-R-E-C-I-B-O. Arecibo.
A-R-I-C-E-B-O. That stands for aliens, right?
A-R-E-C-I-B-O.
What does that stand for?
I don't know. Message was transmitted via a device known as the Arecibo radio. It was a radio telescope. So the first ever radio telescope. I'm assuming this means sending signals out into outer space. Was, though it wasn't a genuine attempt to contact aliens, instead it served as a testament to how far space technology had come, that we could transmit via radio waves out
outer space,
into outer space.
And we could let them all know.
My aunt is everybody. Hi, my aunt is visiting this week, and she was watching Star Trek last night.
Star Trek, the original.
Yes, the original. Whoa. And then after that episode, because of this channel, it went to the Next Generation with
Jean-Luc.
Yeah, John. Is that his name? It's not Picard. It's the other guy, with the brown hair.
That dude, number 2.
Yeah,
he's number 2. Or number 1. Is he number 1? He's number 1.
Will, or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Will, not the captain.
Not the captain, yeah.
Yeah, Will, not the captain. I think that's his
Star
name.
Trek: The Next Generation. Okay. And it just made me think of it. It made me think of the 70s and, Battlestar Galactica.
Patrick Stewart.
And Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek and everything, man, in the 70s was all coming out of the 60s, was all space and aliens.
All rockets and stuff. Buck Rogers. Yeah.
And Star Wars. Well, Star Wars, because the kids were like, oh, Star Wars 1970s. Yeah, but not until 1977, later. My year, because I'm the best year because I had Star Wars. Number 19. With nearly 2,600 issues now under its belt, this magazine is one of the most iconic pop culture news sources in the entire United States. The magazine has had nearly every celebrity from Cindy Crawford to Leonardo DiCaprio on its cover. The first issue hit newsstands in March of 1974. Who was plastered on the paper's first cover? None other than actress Mia Farrow, known for her portrayal of Daisy Buchanan in that year's film adaptation of The Great Gatsby. What periodical launched and had its debut in 1974?
2,600 issues. It's not National Geographic. It's Time. It's either Time or Life or Time Life. Newsweek.
People Magazine. People Magazine. People Magazine made its debut in 1974 with on the cover of its first ever issue with Mia Farrow for her portrayal of Daisy Buchanan.
That would be interesting to see
The Great Gatsby.
The first cover. She would have been a hot item back then.
My mama was all about the People Magazine subscription. Did your mom? I mean, your mom. She didn't do magazines. My house didn't really do magazines, but that one, like we always had People Magazine.
I guess no, my mom never bought People Magazine.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if my mom bought. I don't think my mom bought magazines very often.
Well, it was a splurge item, right?
Yeah, I mean, $1.50 or whatever it was back then.
Newspaper was a standard. Magazines were extra.
Yeah.
This last one, number 20.
This is a fun list, kind of reliving my childhood.
Yeah.
With the Arecibo radio.
As long as you know. Well, they were like, shoot, Jeff's boring. Let's contact some aliens.
Yeah. He came out. He looks like an alien. Let's call home.
Oh, so this in 1974, this company launched one of its most popular models of vehicle. It's been through several important phases with 7 generations and over 35 million units sold worldwide. But before this model's release, another one of its kind dominated the lineup due to its reputation for both accessibility and affordability. But once this model hit the market, it quickly set a new standard for compact cars and demonstrated the innovative ability of the brand. What model of vehicle launched in 1974 and sold over 35 million units
Gotta
worldwide.
be the Honda Accord, I would guess. Or the Mustang, too.
The Volkswagen Golf.
Oh.
Believe it or not, before the Golf's release, the Beetle dominated the Volkswagen lineup due to its reputation for both accessibility and affordability. But once the Golf hit the market, it quickly set a new standard for compact cars and demonstrated the innovative ability of the Volkswagen brand.
Yeah. Interesting. The Golf.
The Golf, which is a pretty, I mean, it's a boxy car, but it's a pretty standard, now that if you think about it, it's a pretty standard
well, plus they
compact car.
They put turbocharged 4 cylinders. They put the GTI engine in them, and then they did 6 cylinders. And so, very cool.
Well, thank you for taking a little trip down memory lane.
Yeah, that was fun. That was interesting to hear.
Before we close out, I think everybody would like to hear, including our kids, since this podcast is our posterity. I'm sure everybody would like to hear how you were born in a snowstorm. Tell us a little bit about the arrival.
I was born just the other side of Burien in King County, Washington, in a town. I always thought I was born in Burien, and the truth is I was born across the street from Burien in a town called Normandy Park, which was interesting because it was where all the pilots lived that used to fly for American, United, Alaska out of. It was kind of like a hotbed for pilots, and my grandfather was a pilot, which he lived in Dallas, so it's no relation. But it was interesting that I was born in Normandy Park. The apartments are still there. It's called the Manhattan Apartments. I think it's on 181st in Normandy Park in King County, Washington. I was born at home because my parents were hippies, and my mom wanted to have a home birth, and they probably didn't have the money to do prenatal. They didn't have insurance. So I was born at home, and there was a doctor who was on call. The doctor was called, and there was a horrible snowstorm. There was ice on all the roads and bridges, and the doctor actually slid off the road on the way
because it's
to
December. For everybody,
27th.
It's the 27th of December. So Christmas. The doctor's probably celebrating his family.
Oh, God, couldn't you just waited another week? Yeah. So he's celebrating with his family. The doctor's on call. He goes in a snowstorm, slides off the road. His car's all busted up. Didn't even make it. Like, I was already out. I think my dad was like, had to go in and grab my head and pull my shoulders out of my mom.
Oh my God. I mean, that's
like,
just
when's the doctor going to be here? There's no
I
cell
can't
phones,
even
right?
imagine.
Cell phones haven't even been invented yet. They're still using Arecibo radio. What was it called?
Arecibo radio.
Arecibo, yeah. You could call him with Arecibo radio if you had one. But there's no cell phone, and they call the doctor. Yep, he'll be right over. Doctor never shows. Baby's coming. I'm in labor. Right. Go for it, Dad. Figure it out.
Oh my God.
So, nothing like a world-class entrance.
So basically, they've been saying, "Oh shit!" ever since you've been
crap.
born.
This guy's off his rocker.
You could bleep me out on that one, Andrew, but
causing problems. He's coming in between Christmas and New Year's. Everybody's got a week off except Jeff's gonna be born. The doctor's gonna slide off the road.
Oh my
Dad's
God.
gotta go in with his hands and grab my head and yank me out of his wife so that she doesn't die, so I don't die. Like,
wow.
And then on top of that, my mom told me, she just told me this story. She told me this story like maybe 2 weeks ago that apparently I didn't eat for like 4 days.
Oh my God.
And so I just sort of lied there. I got real. My glycemic index was low. And so she called the doctor. She's like, he's just lying there and he's not moving. And the doctor's like, oh, good God, woman, bring him over. Apparently there was another gal who was, shall we say, well endowed.
Well, it's a matter of producing milk.
Produced plenty of milk for her newborn baby and was like a wet nurse. So she became the wet nurse.
Yeah.
And kept me eating and showed my mom how to do it and everything. And then I was fine after that. But
Oh.
I was hungry. Needed to eat. The babies, they like shake their heads back and forth. I was shaking my head like I was, "Rah! Give me some food, man."
I mean, here you are, 6'5", 200 foot.
Proof that you don't have to feed your babies.
Evidently.
Apparently, for the first couple of days, you're not gonna hurt them because they got DNA that'll turn food
this
into.
Explains so much.
Yeah. If I have a little Sylvester Stallone forceps nerve damage in my face, those are my dad's paw prints from 50 years ago.
Oh, Lord. It explains how we'll be at a restaurant and you'll see people's plates being cleaned up and you'll be like, you gotta eat that?
You're not throwing that chicken strips away, are you? Wait, there's still blue cheese on the bottom of the ramekin. What are you doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 50, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you can be your idiot selves and get away with
100%. And if you're turning 50 this year or have turned 50, happy birthday. Happy half a century. The train keeps moving. You're just beginning.
My buddy, I call out to my buddy Gary Brock Weiss.
Yes.
Or is it Brock Gary Weiss? I think it's Brock Gary Weiss, but he goes by Gary Weiss in business, but he's Brock Weiss to his buddies, which is me now. A shout out to my buddy Gary Weiss, who is 60 today. He's getting a tattoo. Actually, he's at the. I called him an hour ago. He's at the tattoo parlor, and Gary is one of my best buddies. I actually went to work for him in October of 2000. So I've known him as of last month for 24 years. We still cut up, still talk all the time. Just an absolutely amazing friendship and relationship. And I tell you, I'm very blessed to have a great marriage, to have great kids, to have 7 little me's and little you's running around. And I'm also really fortunate to have, a good close-knit group of about 75 or 80 guys that have just been fantastic buddies of mine through the years. And I've got so many just wonderful people that care about us and care about our kids and want to be a part of our lives and put up with our crap and come over to our house for Friendsgiving and Thanksgiving and do ball games and stuff. So shout out to all of you supporters. Shout out to our buddies.
Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the Jeff Heilman Project. Without you, we would not be here. Literally. You're why we're here.
That's for you. So
and God bless you guys and have an awesome rest of your week. And we'll see you next time on the Jeff Heilman Project.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers.